Imagine waking up one morning and seeing headlines screaming that Drake the Sixth God himself is now suing Jay-Z. Yes, you heard that right. Not beefing on wax, not throwing subliminals, but taking it all the way to court. And the reason? Fans are calling it the pettiest, strangest, and most shocking move in hip-hop this decade. To make things even wilder, at the same time, Drake apparently found the weirdest way ever to diss Pusha T. Not through a diss track, not on stage, but in a way that left the industry completely baffled. What could have possibly pushed Drake over the edge to go after one of rap's most powerful moguls? Why is Jigga suddenly being dragged into messy legal drama when he's usually the one playing chess, not checkers? And how on earth does Pusha T fit into all this chaos again? This isn't just a Foodite's betrayal, money, pride, and a little bit of straight-up pettiness all colliding at once. Fans are already divided. The hip-hop world is in meltdown, and the story is only getting stranger by the minute. Buckle up, because this is the kind of drama that could change rap forever. Drama in the rap world doesn't come quietly. And this time it started with a whisper that quickly spiraled into an earthquake. When fans first heard rumors that Drake and Jay-Z were in some kind of secret conflict, nobody believed it. These are two of the biggest names in hip-hop history, two moguls who seem to exist on completely different levels. Jay-Z, the businessman, the billionaire, the strategist who plays every move like it's a chess game. And Drake, the emotional hitmaker, the chart king who never misses with his hooks. On the surface, they looked like they had no reason to clash. But behind closed doors, tensions had been simmering for months. And they finally erupted in a way that left the music world stunned. According to insiders, everything began with something so unbelievably petty that people are still shaking their heads. Drake, who has always been sensitive about his legacy and his place in the rap hierarchy, apparently felt slighted by Jay-Z during a private industry gathering. Witnesses claimed that when someone brought up a conversation about streaming numbers, Jay-Z made a comment that seemed harmless to most, but to Drake, it cut deep. Jay allegedly said, "Numbers are cool, but real respect doesn't come from streams, it comes from impact." People laughed, some nodded, and the conversation moved on, but not for Drake. He took it as a direct shot, as if Jay-Z was saying his dominance on the charts didn't matter, but he wasn't really respected like the legends before him. From that moment, Drake's energy shifted. Fans later pieced together small clues, like Drake suddenly unfollowing certain ROC Nation affiliates on social media, and cryptic captions that seemed like subtle jabs. But nothing could have prepared anyone for what came next. Instead of dropping a diss track or firing shots in interviews, Drake made the shocking decision to take Jay-Z to court. The lawsuit wasn't about a song, a contract, or even money in the usual sense. No, Drake's legal team filed papers claiming that Jay-Z had intentionally sabotaged one of Drake's biggest business deals. A luxury collaboration that could have cemented Drake's empire outside of music. And according to the documents, Drake believed Jay did it purely out of spite. This accusation hit like a bomb. Fans flooded social media with theories. Some argued that Jay-Z would never stoop that low, that he was too focused on billion-dollar moves to worry about Drake's brand deals. Others believed it instantly, saying that Jay has always had a reputation for quietly controlling the industry from behind the scenes. And in the middle of all this, Drake wasn't staying quiet. In one of the most emotional interviews he's ever given, Drake said, "I gave everything to this game. I built my name from the ground up. And now I find out people I used to respect are trying to block my blessings. That hurts. But if I don't stand up for myself, then what am I teaching the next generation?" His voice cracked during those words, and fans could feel the pain dripping through every syllable. But this wasn't just about business. Drake's family and close circle began to feel the tension too. His mother, who has always been a grounding force in his life, reportedly begged him to avoid dragging this into the courts, fearing that the public battle could stain his legacy. Friends, Like Noah 40 Shabib were said to be conflicted as well. Understanding Drake's anger but questioning whether this was the right move. "Bro, you've got nothing to prove," 40 allegedly told him in a late-night call. "You're already a legend. Don't let them pull you into their games." But Drake wasn't listening anymore. He felt betrayed, not just by Jay, but by an industry that seemed determined to downplay his achievements. Meanwhile, Jay-Z himself stayed silent, which only fueled the fire. Fans interpreted his silence in different ways. Some said it was proof that he didn't care and that the lawsuit was beneath him. Others whispered that his silence was strategic, that he was planning a devastating response when the time was right. Even Beyoncé's name got dragged into the mess when fans began speculating about private conversations she might be having with Jay behind the scenes. The Carters were used to being untouchable. But Drake's lawsuit threatened to drag their names into public mudslinging, something they had carefully avoided for years. And then, as if the drama between Drake and Jay wasn't enough, Push T's name suddenly reappeared in the mix. Fans remember the brutal feud between Drake and Pusha T, one that many thought was dead and buried after the story of Adidon. But in one of the strangest twists yet, Drake found a bizarre way to take a shot at Pusha while all of this Jay-Z chaos was unfolding. During a live show, Drake performed an unreleased track that fans had never heard before. The song itself wasn't a diss, but midway through, he paused and laughed, saying, "At least I don't have to beg Kanye for verses anymore." The crowd erupted, some gasping, others cheering, instantly realizing it was a jab at Pusha. By association, since Pusha has long been tied to Kanye and good music. It was an odd, almost playful dig, but the timing made it explosive. Here, Drake was suing Jay-Z on one hand and reigniting his Cold War with Pusha on the other. Social media couldn't handle it. Hashtags trended for days. Fans argued in long threads, dissecting every angle of the drama. Memes exploded, with some painting Drake as the ultimate petty king, while others mocked the idea of a billionaire like Jay-Z even noticing Drake's lawsuit. But the drama didn't stop there. New reports began to surface, suggesting that there were text messages, emails, and even recorded calls that might expose just how deep the betrayal went. Insiders claimed that Drake had proofed Jay-Z personally, made calls to executives warning them not to partner with Drake on his luxury venture, hinting that it would damage their brand. If true, it would be the kind of cutthroat industry move that fans always suspected happened, but rarely got to see in the light of day. The tension built like a storm cloud, with fans waiting for someone to break the silence. Drake was speaking, emotionally, almost daily, dropping hints and throwing veiled shots in his Instagram stories. His circle was torn, some standing firmly by his side, others worried he was spiraling too far into emotional territory. And Jay-Z, he was nowhere to be found. No statements, no interviews, not even a cryptic lyric. The silence was deafening, and it only made Drake's fury burn hotter. The feud wasn't just a rap beef anymore, was a full-blown war that threatened to spill into every corner of the industry. And as if fans hadn't had enough whiplash already, just when the first legal documents hit the press, another twist came out that nobody saw coming. The twist that blindsided everyone came in the form of leaked documents. Not just legal papers, but private emails that allegedly tied Jay-Z to a series of quiet phone calls that had been made to executives in luxury, fashion, and tech. These weren't vague warnings either. According to the leaks, Jay had personally told one executive, "Be careful tying your image to someone who isn't built for long-term respect." Those words spread like wildfire online, and fans immediately connected them to Drake's deal. It was a stunning revelation. If true, it meant Jay-Z wasn't just sitting in silence, he had been actively working behind the scenes to shut Drake down. Drake's camp wasted no time in reacting. One insider close to OVO said, Drake felt betrayed in the deepest way. He looked at Jay as a figure who paved the way, not someone who'd tried to block his path. This wasn't just business to him, it felt personal, like someone trying to erase his legacy. Drake himself, in an emotional Instagram live session, told fans, "Imagine thinking you've earned your seat at the table. It's only for someone you grew up respecting to flip that table over right when you sit down. That's what this feels like. It's not about money anymore. It's about respect." His eyes were cold, but his voice was shaking, and fans could sense the fury bubbling beneath the surface. Jay-Z, however, continued to stay silent. Some fans praised the strategy, saying Jay was too seasoned to get dragged into messy Back-and-forths. Others claimed his silence was an admission of guilt. Conspiracy theories spiraled. Was Jay secretly jealous of Drake's chart dominance? Was he protecting his own empire from being overshadowed by the younger star? Or was this simply a power move to remind the world who still held the keys to hip-hop's most exclusive doors? The world debated. Drake made his next move. He didn't drop a diss. Track fans were waiting for it, hungry for lyrical warfare. But instead, he released a freestyle that wasn't aimed directly at Jay, yet was loaded with cryptic lines. He rapped about snakes in the garden, about kings who hide behind crowns, and about doors being closed by people who fear the future. The freestyle went viral instantly. Some listeners insisted it was too vague to connect directly to Jay, but the timing made it clear who the target was. Fans screamed in comment sections, "This is Drake's warning shot, and he's building the energy for something bigger." And then came the reaction that nobody expected: Pusha T. After months, maybe even years of relative silence toward Drake, Pusha broke his calm to jump into the storm. In a surprise appearance on a podcast, he chuckled when asked about Drake's lawsuit, saying, "Man, you can't buy respect in this game. You can stream all day, but that don't make you untouchable." Some people still gotta learn that. Fans instantly interpreted it as another jab. Drake's fan base erupted, furious that Pusha was inserting himself again. And Drake, he didn't hold back this time. During another concert, he paused mid-performance and looked straight into the camera, saying, "The funniest thing is some people still using my name to stay relevant. I don't need that energy anymore, but if they want smoke, it's always." Here, the crowd lost its mind. Drake's friends were now caught in the middle of a brewing storm. Some OVO members allegedly encouraged him to go harder, to drop a full diss track not only at Jay-Z but at Pusha T too. Others urged him to stay focused on the lawsuit, warning that mixing beef with legal battles could get messy. His mother, according to sources, cried on the phone with him, saying, "Every time you go down this road, you lose a little more of yourself. I don't want to see you hurt again." Those words shook Drake, but the anger in him wasn't letting go. Meanwhile, Jay-Z's camp finally leaked a small response through an anonymous insider. The message was simple: Jay isn't worried. He's focused on his family and his businesses. If people want to make noise, let them. He's not in the noise business. But fans weren't satisfied. They wanted drama. They wanted lyrics. They wanted retaliation. And Jay-Z's refusal to engage only made the entire feud feel even stranger. Why was Drake the only one screaming into the void while Jay-Z played the role of the unbothered king? Was that his power move all along? Things took another bizarre turn when Drake's legal team revealed a witness list for the court battle. And on that list was a name nobody saw coming: Kanye West. The internet exploded. Fans couldn't believe Drake would pull Kanye into this legal drama, especially after years of messy ups and downs between the two. Speculation ran wild. Was Drake planning to use Kanye's past grievances with Jay-Z as leverage? Was Kanye willing to testify? Or was this all a calculated bluff to shake Jay's confidence? The rumors ran so deep that even late-night talk shows started joking about the case. One host quipped, "This courtroom is about to have more drama than an entire season of reality TV." Through all of this, Drake continued to take strange shots at Pusha T. In one interview, when asked about legacy, he smirked and said, "My legacy doesn't need ghostwriters hiding in the shadows of old labels." Fans instantly saw it as another sneaky jab at Pusha. Pusha responded on social media with a single cryptic post, a photo of a chessboard with the caption, "Checkmate comes slow." The post went viral in minutes, with fans arguing over who was really winning the feud. By now, emotions weren't just high, they were boiling over. Drake's fans flooded timelines defending him, calling Jay-Z a manipulator and Pusha T a clout chaser. Jay-Z's supporters clapped back, mocking Drake for being too sensitive and relying on lawsuits instead of bars. Pusha's loyalists added fuel to the fire, painting Drake as insecure and desperate for attention. The industry was divided like never before, and even neutral artists started feeling pressure to take sides. What really shocked fans, though, was when rumors emerged that Drake's own inner circle wasn't united. Whispers suggested that one of Drake's closest collaborators was secretly in touch with ROC Nation executives, possibly feeding information back to Jay-Z's camp. Betrayal hung heavy in the air, and Drake began to question who he could even trust. One night during a recording session, he allegedly shouted at his team, "Y'all think I don't notice the snakes? I see everything. Just don't play with me." The room reportedly went silent, and for the first time, people around him admitted they saw a darker side of Drake. One consumed by paranoia and pain. The feud had become bigger than music. It was about legacy, betrayal, pride, and survival. Fans didn't know what was coming next, but everyone could feel the tension building toward an explosion. Would Jay finally break his silence? Pusha drop another scorched earth diss? Or would Drake unleash something so shocking that it would rewrite the rules of the game forever? And just when fans thought they'd seen the peak of the chaos, another revelation surfaced, this time involving money, family ties, and a hidden deal that connected Drake and Jay-Z in a way nobody saw coming. The hidden deal that surfaced sent shockwaves through the entire industry. Leaked reports revealed that years ago, long before the lawsuit, Drake and Jay-Z had actually been partners in a private investment venture. The deal was never made public, but insiders say it was supposed to be a powerhouse collaboration that would merge Drake's global influence with DJ's business acumen. It involved tech, fashion, and even sports. The twist: the deal fell apart, and according to documents, Jay walked away with a larger share of the profits, leaving Drake with virtually nothing. Fans couldn't believe it. Was this the root of all the tension? Had Drake been carrying silent resentment for years before finally exploding? When the news broke, one former associate of the two revealed that partnership was supposed to be massive. But Drake felt like he was being treated as the junior partner, like Jay didn't see him as an equal. It cut him deeply because Drake thought he had proven himself long ago. The betrayal wasn't just about money, it was about status. Drake had spent years trying to prove he belonged in the same conversation as the greatest, yet behind the scenes, Jay treated him like a rookie. The discovery of this hidden deal made the lawsuit look less like a sudden outburst and more like the culmination of years of tension. Fans were stunned and emotions ran high. So this wasn't about some petty comment. One fan tweeted, "This was years of disrespect boiling over." Others felt Drake was exaggerating, accusing him of using the past as an excuse to justify unnecessary drama. Jay made him. Whether he wants to admit it or not, another fan argued. If it wasn't for the cosign on Pound Cake, Drake wouldn't be where he is. The fan base was tearing itself apart. And every new revelation only made the debate messier. Drake, meanwhile, leaned into the narrative. On stage during a show, he addressed the crowd directly. You ever had someone smile in your face while stacking money off your back? Have you ever had someone call you family? Then act like you're disposable. The crowd erupted with boos, directed not at Drake but at the people he was accusing. Drake then added, "This isn't about business anymore. This is about principle. And when I stand for myself, I'm standing for all of you who ever felt played. The speech was emotional, and videos of it flooded timelines instantly. Jay-Z, however, finally made a small but pointed move. During a guest verse on a surprise release, Jay rapped, "They cry wolf while they counting streams, I'm counting dreams, stacking empires while they chasing memes." Fans went wild, convinced it was a shot at Drake. The delivery was cold. Detached, classic Jay. He didn't name names, but everyone knew who he meant. Drake's supporters erupted in fury, while Jay's camp celebrated the subtle but deadly jab. It was the lyrical equivalent of throwing a chess piece across the board, and the rap world couldn't stop analyzing every line. In the midst of this chaos, Pusha T struck again. Seemingly out of nowhere, he dropped a freestyle during a live appearance where he said, "Lawsuits don't make you a king. Respect don't come from receipts." It was a direct jab, and fans went into a frenzy. Pusha wasn't even involved in the lawsuit, yet he inserted himself in a way that reignited old wounds. The internet buzzed with theories that Pusha was aligning himself with Jay, forming an alliance to undermine Drake. Memes circulated with captions like, "The enemy of my enemy is my friend," showing Pusha and Jay standing together while Drake looked on from the sidelines. Drake couldn't ignore it any longer. During a private studio session that later leaked online, he vented to his crew, "I don't care about Pusha, man. He's been obsessed with me for years. Let him bark. But Jay's different. Jay was supposed to be the example. Now, he's the one stabbing me in the back. Nah, I can't let that slide." His voice cracked as he paced the studio floor, visibly torn between anger and heartbreak. One of his producers tried to calm him down, saying, "We need to play this. Smart? Don't let emotion cloud the bag." Drake snapped back, "The bag means nothing if they're trying to erase me." Family tensions grew too. Drake's close relatives worried the feud was consuming him. His mother allegedly told a friend, "This is breaking him down. Every time he talks about it, I see the anger in his eyes. He's not my Aubrey when he's like this. He's someone else." Meanwhile, Drake's son, too young to understand the details, became an innocent face in the crossfire. Fans shared heartbreaking memes of Drake holding his child, with captions like, he's fighting for his legacy. The drama had grown so big that it touched even the most personal corners of Drake's life. The music industry itself was split. Some artists quietly sided with Drake, sympathizing with the idea of older moguls blocking younger stars. Others leaned toward Jay, respecting his decades of influence and seeing Drake as emotional and impulsive. At one award show, when Drake walked in, several artists stood and clapped, while others stayed seated in silence. Fans dissected the footage, arguing over who was truly on Drake's side. One clip of an artist whispering in Jay-Z's ear went viral with captions like "plotting in plain sight." And then came another shocking revelation, this time about money that tied their families together. Reports emerged that Jay-Z had once invested in a company linked to one of Drake's closest family friends. The company later collapsed, and the family friend lost everything. Drake allegedly believed DJ's withdrawal from the company contributed to the downfall, leaving his loved ones in financial ruin. To Drake, this wasn't just betrayal in business, it was betrayal that hit his family. One insider revealed, that's when Drake's anger reached a whole new level. When family gets hurt, Drake doesn't forgive. The emotional stakes were higher than ever. Fans were glued to every update, every rumor, every cryptic post. Drake's every move was dissected, DJ's every silence magnified, Push's every word twisted into daggers. The feud was no longer about who sold more records or who had more respect. It was about survival, pride, and legacy. Nobody knew how far it would go. But everyone could feel that something explosive was looming on the horizon. And then, Just when the tension couldn't get any heavier, a private conversation between Jay-Z and an unexpected figure leaked online. The leaked conversation was the final spark that turned whispers into wildfire. Late one night, an audio clip surfaced online, supposedly of Jay-Z speaking in a private meeting. The voice, calm and measured, said, "Drake needs to understand. This isn't personal, it's about control. If he takes too much, the game loses balance, and I can't allow that." Though unverified, the clip spread faster than anything else in the feud. Fans were stunned. Was this really Jay admitting to intentionally blocking Drake's rise? Or was it an elaborate fake designed to frame him? The mystery only made it juicier. Hashtags trended instantly. With fans demanding answers, Drake wasted no time responding. Within hours, he went live again, pacing in front of the camera, his face tense. Control? Balance? Who made you the referee of this game? Who gave you the right to decide who eats and who doesn't? His voice cracked with anger. I've earned everything I have. Every show, every verse, every sleepless night. You think you can erase me with a phone call? Nah, I don't move like that. I don't hide. I stand up. Fans flooded the comments with fire emojis and supportive messages, calling it one of Drake's most passionate speeches ever. The drama didn't stop there. New whispers claimed that the person Jay was speaking to in that leaked clip wasn't an executive at all. It was Pusha T. If true, it meant Jay and Pusha weren't just casually aligned, but actively collaborating against Drake. One anonymous source even claimed this was never a one-on-one feud. This was always a triangle. Jay and Pusha knew the only way to control the narrative was to keep Drake down. The internet exploded with theories. Some fans believed it instantly, pointing to Pusha's sudden reemergence in the drama as proof. Others argued it was just more smoke to keep fans guessing. But the possibility alone made the situation even messier. Drake's inner circle reacted. With fury, OVO members were reportedly urging him to release a full-scale diss track, not just subliminal freestyles. One insider said he has a whole folder of songs ready to go. He's just been holding back. But after that leak, he's not going to hold back anymore. Producers described the sessions as intense, with Drake recording deep into the night, fueled by anger and betrayal. One engineer recalled he walked into the booth and said, "Tonight, I'm ending careers." The atmosphere was electric, and everyone knew something huge was coming. Meanwhile, Jay's camp finally broke. Their silence publicly. In a carefully worded statement, Jay's lawyer said, "The rumors, leaks, and accusations surrounding my client are baseless. Mr. Carter has always conducted business with integrity and respect. We will not be commenting further on speculation." The statement was cold, formal, and dismissive. It didn't satisfy fans at all. In fact, it only added fuel to the fire, with people mocking the carefully sanitized tone. "So, basically, he said nothing," one fan tweeted. Another posted, "This silence is louder than any diss track." Pusha, never one to let a moment, slipped through more fuel into the flames with a cryptic post on social media. A photo of a burning contract and the caption, "Paper burns, respect doesn't." Fans immediately linked it to Drake's lawsuit, interpreting it as Pusha mocking the very idea of trying to settle rap beef through courts. Memes flooded the internet with captions like, "Pusha watching Drake sue like it's daytime TV." Drake saw the post, and during another concert, he couldn't resist firing back. Some people love the sidelines because they never had the main stage. "Keep posting pictures. I'm making history." The crowd roared, chanting his name. The feud now spilled into every corner of the culture. Late-night hosts cracked jokes. Bloggers dissected every word, and fans began staging online debates that lasted 4 hours. It wasn't just a beef, it was a saga, one that felt larger than life. But behind the spectacle, Drake's emotions were raw. Those close to him worried he was losing himself in the chaos. One source revealed he's not sleeping right. He's obsessing over every comment, every rumor. He feels like the whole world is against him. His mother's pleas grew louder, begging him to let it go. But Drake, driven by pride and pain, couldn't step back. If I walk away, he allegedly told a friend, they'll write my story for me. I can't let them do that. Then, just when fans thought they had seen it all, another twist shook the feud to its core. A major magazine published an investigative piece claiming to have evidence that Drake's lawsuit was on shaky ground. According to the report, several of Drake's smoking gun emails had been taken out of context. One supposedly damning line from Jay was revealed to actually be part of a broader conversation about unrelated business. The article suggested that Drake might have overreacted, misinterpreting business moves as personal attacks. Fans gasped. Was Drake fighting a ghost all along? Was his pain real but misdirected? The story left everyone questioning what was true and what was exaggerated. Drake's response was emotional. In a radio interview, his voice trembled as he said, "They always try to make me look crazy. They did it before. They're doing it again. I know what I felt. I know what I saw. I don't need anyone to validate my pain." Fans rallied to his side, insisting his truth mattered even if the details were messy. But critics used the article to mock him, painting him as paranoid, insecure, and reckless. The division deepened, and the feud only grew more complicated. In the background, whispers emerged of private attempts to settle the matter. Mutual acquaintances reportedly tried to broker peace between Drake and Jay, warning that the feud was tearing the industry apart. One insider claimed DJ's people are open to squashing it, but Drake isn't ready. His pride won't let him. He feels like he's fighting for more than himself. Pusha, of course, showed no signs of wanting peace. His cryptic posts continued, each one sharpening the knife. The climax came during one of Drake's biggest shows of the year. Thousands packed the arena, waiting to see what he would do. Halfway through, the screens lit up with a montage of headlines about the lawsuit, the leaks, and the feud. Then Drake stepped forward and addressed the crowd directly. "They want to control the story. They want to erase me. But look around. This is my story. You are my story. And as long as we stand together, nobody can take that away." The audience erupted, chanting his name for minutes. It was a powerful moment, a declaration of defiance that turned the arena into a cathedral of loyalty. But even in that triumphant moment, the feud wasn't resolved. Jay remained silent, Pusha kept needling, and Drake was still preparing for the courtroom showdown. The saga had no neat ending, no clear winner, only unresolved tension that promised more drama ahead. Fans left the arena buzzing, not just from the performance, but from the sense that the story was far from over. The feud had become bigger than music hit, was a cultural phenomenon, a battle of pride, betrayal, and legacy that would echo for years to come. And as the lights dimmed on that night, fans couldn't help but wonder who would make the next move in this never-ending game of power and respect. So after all this chaos, the lawsuits, the leaks, the cryptic verses, and the endless social media battles, one question still lingers: where does it all go from here? Drake has poured his heart and pride into this fight, determined to protect his legacy and demand respect from those he once admired. Jay-Z has stayed calm and calculating, speaking only in small doses and letting silence do the heavy lifting. And Pusha T, he's been the wild card, swooping in at the strangest moments to twist the knife deeper, leaving fans wondering if he's the ultimate instigator in this entire mess. The industry is divided, the fan base is fractured, and the truth remains blurry. Are Jay's moves the cold calculations of a seasoned mogul, or did Drake really react to shadows and whispers? Is Pusha just chasing relevance, or is he a key piece of a much bigger strategy to keep Drake in check? The answers aren't clear, and that's exactly why this story refuses to die down. It's a storm of pride, betrayal, and power struggles that feels like it could explode again at any second. And that's where you come in. What do you think? Is Drake standing up for himself in the face of betrayal? Or is he letting emotion get the best of him? Is Z protecting the balance of the game? Or is he guilty of undercutting a fellow artist out of fear of being overshadowed? And does Pusha T really belong in this story? Or is he just stirring the pot for entertainment? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's get this debate going. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe for more unbelievable drama straight from the world of hip-hop, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss the next twist in this saga. Trust me, you won't want to.